Hopefully, I got sound. I can't tell. I've been having issues connecting since my phone automatically connects to my car. So there goes that. We'll see if we can get anybody online. I got a couple of bars of signal here. Hopefully, it's not too bad. We'll see what we got. On my way to Seebeck here in Washington State. Rush Babe, good morning. Can you hear me okay? I'm not sure if the audio is coming in, to be honest. I don't have my other phone to check. Hopefully everything is okay. Okay, good sound. Thank you very much. I promise you guys that I will get on today. I mean, I didn't think I was going to be leaving this late, but that's how it goes sometimes with the wife. She is with her friends, and she is going to be following. But I wanted to say hello to you guys. Hello, Irma. How are you? God bless you, sis. God bless you, Rush. You guys know where Seebeck is in Washington? Irma says, I'm here. Well, last night we were talking about, we mentioned Venezuela a little bit. I think we got some good connections last night, right? Rush, you were still there last night. Uh, I came across a video from a warning, if you will, from thank you. So good morning to you, sis. Where it's crazy that I say all these things right on my live, and I tell people, hey, this is what's going on, and they don't believe me. They think we're making things up. But I heard a speech now that the United States is over there dealing right with Venezuela's cartels, and we're doing war on drugs. And I have mentioned that there is some legitimate president that Maduro, kind of set aside because he wants to stay in power, pretty much, right? We as the United States, we don't recognize him as a legitimate president. Well, this was what's happening. The good side of the Venezuelan people is, good morning, guys. Good morning. Thanks for joining. The good side of Venezuelan people, right? The legitimate people that actually the elections. These people that have nothing to do with cartels, nothing to do with drugs, they really just want to fight for Venezuela. And we are also supporting them to be free. This is what Maduro says after we shut down the boat full of drugs, right? Maduro goes on, and he doesn't hide it. He thinks he's untouchable, so he sends a warning to the other what do you call it, to the other party, the other, as you think that Donald Trump, that he said, you have another thing coming. If you think you are not. He is threatening their lives. Let's remember that he has taken out politicians that opposed him during the election. And people don't want to believe this, and they think that we should continue to do this whole, let's capture them, and then let's have a hearing and do no. We're done with that BS. We are now taking action. We're no longer going to be allowing this cartel of drug lords to get away with dictating how things are going to go in this world. Secretary Rubio said that, you know what, there's no longer any type of capturing and see what happens. They are considered a terrorist organization, and in international waters, they are free game. So they told multiple times to these people on the boat to stop, and they didn't. And once they crossed that international line, boom, done. And this is nothing, guys. That what the United States is did is pretty much a warning. If anybody wants to say something about 11 people dying on the boat, let's remember the 400,000 people that died during Biden's administration due to their drugs coming into our country. So I support everything that they're doing right now, and people they still gonna say that we're making things up, and we're lying about these foreigners and blah blah blah. Listen, if you don't speak Spanish, I get it. Okay, man, we get the ice cold so early in the morning. Chad, it's too early, bro. Too early. We're not talking about illegal immigration, brother. Do you want me to talk about illegal immigration? Man, these people are just hungry for illegal immigration talk. Maduro's out there in person himself. It's not the news says, it's not Trump says, it's not Secretary Rubio says, it's none of them saying. It's directly from Papuchon Prepucio Sanchez. How are you, my friend? Blessings to you and your family. It's nobody telling us except the person himself directly. See, he thinks he's untouchable, and that's why he thinks that he can just, pretty much make a confession that he is going to kill the opposition party, the opposing political party, and that's not going to fly. These are the people that I told you guys. I watched the video, and they were interviewing this political party of who we think is the official winners in the democracy of Venezuela. And yes, my iced coffee. Thank you for asking, Coben. Coffee is life, my friend. We need to have coffee. I am actually about to take the ferry here. Sorry for the distractions here, guys. I'm about to take the ferry here and on my way to Seabeck. I'm going to spend the weekend over there. So give me a second, guys. This a live. I wasn't expecting to do it. I told my members that I would do a live today. So give me one moment. We're almost at the booth. Getting ready to pay. Guys, nothing that we share on this channel, it's BS. as much as people would like to believe that. We try to tell the truth as much as we can. So,
you're following them for the donuts.
Yes, that's it. Just for the donuts.
Okay.
Did he pay? Ah, son of a gun. Thank you, sir. My friend's in front of me and he paid for mine. All right, so we are taking the ferry here in Edmonds, Washington. You guys want me to get out and show you a little bit, or you guys just want to listen? Let's see who wants me to get out and show you what it looks like over here right now. I think we have a few minutes before the ferry actually takes off. Welcome to the Dennis Herrera Show. All right, Raj says that she hasn't been here in years. So we'll go ahead and take a walk. I think I'll be left behind over here. Oh, man. Who is this supporting guy? Jamal. Thank you for the support, man. God bless you, brother. All right, let's get out of here. Let's go talk outside. Speaking of outside, let me get my other earpiece on. Give me a second, guys. Hopefully I didn't hang up on it. Now, people may think that I do these videos for people that don't care about us or about listening to the truth. But the truth is, I am making these videos and these lives to connect with American patriots that actually care about this country. So let me show you how, guys, here real quick. I know this is not a personal blog, but I'm going to show you here. This is what the Edmonds ferry waiting line looks like. You guys are watching live from Edmonds, Washington. Beautiful, typical Washington state weather. Yeah, yeah. It's actually not cold. It's just very, very gloomy. It seems like this is what the weather is like over here in Washington all the time, but it isn't. There is a lot of sunny days. There's a lot of sunny times. Isn't that awesome, though? And I'm going to tell you what's the most special things about talking uh, on YouTube or whatever. It's that we can all be at the same place at the same time. It doesn't matter what part of the world. That's the technology that we have today. So, anyways, talking about Venezuela, I think the situation is gonna get. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. I think the situation is gonna get worse. Hopefully not. Hopefully this coward that's hiding behind the Venezuelan people and that keeps threatening them is gonna have what's coming to him. I don't know who in their right mind would defend him when he is threatening the lives of his own people because they're showing support for the United States, putting a stop to the drugs. You know what really gets to me? I'm going to Seebeck, my friend, Chucky. International Scout Harvester says every major network was carrying the Epstein victims press conference except Fox News. Uh, okay, fine. Let's go ahead and shift gears a little bit. Let's talk about these Epstein victims. And I know that probably a lot of you guys, not my friends, not the members, not my subscribers, but a lot of you people out there that are joining this live probably think that we care what these people say. Now, let me tell you something. There was a trial for Epstein. There was victims. There was witnesses. There was a whole thing that happened, and this was years ago with Epstein. These people that are coming out saying, "Oh, we are the victims of this and that." Let me tell you something. I feel bad for the real victims. Okay, I really do. But I think a lot of people made a lot of money, and we are living in a time that people have been crying wolf, wolf, wolf. You guys know the story. To the point where now, when somebody claims or yells wolf, we don't believe it. The first thing they say, oh, Trump was there and Trump did this and did. No, come on. You're raising false testimony. If you fall for that, something's wrong with you. I don't believe them. It's too late to believe them. I'm going to tell you something. If if they were doing this long time ago, before hating Donald Trump, I would agree with you. But this is just hate propaganda against Trump. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. Where were they before this happened? Where were they when the Democrats were in office? Tell me that. Where were these so-called strong witnesses? Where were they? But now that they're trying to find something to put our president Trump, Donald Trump down, now there's all this witness movement going on and talk about the Epstein files. Come on, man. I'm nobody's fool. Think about it. Think about it. Think with your own brain. Make your own decisions. Don't be influenced by people. Not even by me. But I'm giving you some basics of what I see. You know, these people were so quiet when nobody was blaming Trump. But now that they're blaming Donald Trump, you're going to tell me that there's all these hundreds of groups of victims that know the names on the list and really, what? Seriously? So the victims that were getting paid to be doing whatever they were doing, they have the list. They have all the names of the guests, and oh yeah, because they were really in control of administration and doing the check-ins and all this other stuff, huh? Oh man, you guys don't want to believe it. How many times have we proven you guys wrong? Over and over and over. It gets tiring, guys. It gets so tiring to the point where, like, even if you were right, you've been lying so much for so long. How do we know that you are gonna tell the truth? See, that's the problem. When you lie too much, when you actually tell the truth, nobody believes you. So, no, I don't believe these so called victims. You can say whatever you want. I don't believe it. And, it's just the truth. I don't believe it. And I think that you guys would be fools if you believe this rhetoric that they're trying to put out there. As I said before, where were these people before they try to take Donald Trump down now? Now that he's making peace deals, now that he's making America great, now that all this stuff is going right for the American people, why now these people say they are witnesses and victims, and they are going to bring this whole thing down? I don't think so, homie. That's not how it works. I am so sorry to tell you. If you want to talk to me with truth, talk to me with truth, but don't be an idiot. I don't believe everything that I hear. I believe what I see. And what I see is people lying. I know the government, the politicians probably won't say it, but I'm not a politician, and I will say it. I believe those people are lying. I don't trust them. I don't believe them. And let me tell you something. If they were, let's say, for example, I was going to find a way to believe these people that are lying against our president. If they actually talk good about us, about the people that support him, I would probably give them a break. Precious, get off my chat. You lost your chance. Uh, that's my wife. um, you know, I find it hard to believe. It doesn't make sense. But if you were to say that that us Republicans are patriots of this country and that you respect us as Americans, maybe there's a chance that I might believe you. But you see, you hate Donald Trump. And because you hate him, you hate every single one of us that are supporting him. And therefore, anything that you say, it's irrelevant. It makes no difference. We're not going to play that game. So, does that make sense? I see a lot of people, they agree with me. You know it, I know it, we all know it. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody knows. And everybody cannot be wrong at the same time. So, that's how I feel. If you guys don't know how to think for yourselves, that's on you. All right, I think that people are starting their engines. Yeah. Might be boarding. Hey, you watching my live as well? Donuts, over there. I'm about to lose my ferry. Thanks to you guys. Does anybody agree with anything that I have said so far? I agree. All right. All you losers out there that are butthurt about hearing the truth, I apologize. And let me know if the audio goes away, because this car, when it connects, it pisses me off. It takes my audio away. Let's see. Minimum wage crisis. Uh, Minimum wage. Man, you guys want to make. Here's the thing about. This is what I think about. Can you guys still hear me? Rush, babe. Omar. I think I saw Omar in here. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. Yeah, that fake felony is being overturned. That's right, baby. And Omar, can you hear me? Okay, Alan Thompson says yes. Okay, so we got lower volume. I don't know how else I can turn it up. Sorry, guys. But is it good enough to hear though? Okay, thank you, Nathan. God bless you, brother. Uh, so when you guys talk about minimum wage, oh, okay, thank you, Omar. It's all good, baby. When you guys talk about minimum wage, you got to take a couple of things into consideration. Okay, uh, if you want, how can I say this? Raising the minimum wage is not gonna bring the economy better. Just so you know that it's not gonna help the economy, because what you're gonna do is you're gonna make small businesses go out of business. And the only people that benefit from that is the big companies. So if you guys are supporters of small businesses, just let you know, franchises, McDonald's, Subway, Burger King, Wendy's, all these fast food restaurants, they're supposed to be cheap. They're supposed to be economical. And it's all good, guys. Don't worry. I don't mind haters. I got a skin made of oil. Everything just rolls right off of me. But I love my American patriots. I love you guys for your support. And number one, for being Americans, for loving the United States of America. That is the land where I live, and that is the land of my children and your children. And we love every single one of you for that. But what happens is that all these franchise chains of stores, they have, uh, they're not rich. They're not the millionaires that you think they are. People get paid a certain amount of money for having that franchise. And when you're making the minimum wage go up, it does not help a small business owner. That's what they are, as a franchise. And you guys think that by raising the minimum wage, everything is going to be good? No, it's not. Listen, there is different jobs that pay different kinds of money. If you think that you're not making enough money working at Taco Bell, at McDonald's, or all these other fast food restaurants, then you might need to get an education. Maybe you might have to go into a trade school. Hopefully, you finish high school. My advice to you is, if you didn't finish high school, go get your GED. If you get your GED, most companies, even though you might start at a lower wage, they will pay you a little bit better than minimum wage. And with time and experience that you acquire, if you work for a company, you will make more money than the actual minimum wage. If you don't want to venture and wait to get that experience, I believe that in the United States, since we are a capitalist country, that you are allowed to get your own business started and make your own money. And that's where I'm at with that. That's why this is the greatest country in the world. The land where the American dream can be achieved by anybody that wants to get up in the morning and go to work. It is not, the American dream is not for lazy people. Let's be clear. All right, just going in the ferry, guys. Just going inside the ferry. Give me a second here. Hopefully, I don't lose my reception here. All right. So I'm at the ferry. I hope that makes sense. Don't think that raising the minimum wage is going to help anybody. Let me turn on my car. All right. Hopefully that's better. So I don't want you to think that raising minimum wage is going to help anybody. That's not going to help anybody. Now, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. I know I always say I don't have to say it, but I believe that if you don't promote yourself, nobody else going to do it for you, except for my Omar, my Trinity, the members that have joined my member club. Uh, you guys are amazing. But if you are new here, we talk about tariffs, we talk about taxes. As you guys already know, I am here in Washington State, and this is our Edmonds Ferry that we have here. But here in Washington State, we have got such bad luck with horrible governors. Unfortunately, they tend to be Democrats. But we have found that in the last couple of decades, the Democratic Party has been used like Kool-Aid. People think that, when the Kool-Aid is low, if you add more water, you make more Kool-Aid. That's how the Democratic Party is now. It's no longer a Democratic Party. They have gone so far left, they have lost themselves. So a lot of people that were Democrats, as I was, right, have come to the Republican side. Now, it's nothing to be shamed to say you're a Democrat because you're still an American patriot. If you can vote, you are part of the people. I don't know who gave me a super chat in there, guys. It didn't show up on my phone. I apologize, but thank you so much for that support. Thanks for the 10. Uh, we need to make sure that we are aware of what's happening in our country. Here in Washington State, uh, Bob Ferguson, I miss my Democratic Party. I'm telling you right now. They used to be so good. Now they're just communist, socialist, Marxist. That's what they. I'm saying that not because that's what everybody says. I've been saying this for such a long time now, since the time that we started losing them at the beginning of the 2000s. You guys remember that the Democratic Party, they used to defend us. They used to fight for the American people. They used to talk about protecting the borders. They used to talk about America first. You guys remember the slogans, made in the USA. I think that we've lost that. Let me check and see if I got reception here, because I don't see this chat. This chat is not moving. And somebody gave me a super chat, and I apologize. I don't see who it was. So whoever it was, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Much love for you. Let me see. Let me check my phone real quick just to make sure that you guys are still with me. My chat just died, so don't know what's going on there. Give me a second, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, I do see it. Let's see. Okay, who? Oh, okay. Truth says no, it's not that guy. I appreciate it. I don't know how come I can't give you love on that one. That's crazy. All right, but I give you a like on that one. Thank you so much. I appreciate the love and support. Uh, but here in Washington State, let me tell you something. You want to know about tariffs? Tariffs are a tax imposed for people that want to import crazy. My wife and her friends just got here. Uh, so tariffs are taxes that are imposed on people that want to import products from other countries. Why do we put a tariff? Before I jump into why we have to have tariffs, you have to know one thing. Here we have local taxes. So I want you to keep that in the back burner. Tariffs. Why do we want to have tariffs now? Because for the last couple of decades, we have been just bleeding money, and we got to put a stop to it. China, Russia, all these other big countries that are in the big markets, including Europeans, everybody has been making a lot of money from us. And I believe the logic for that was that there was other countries that needed help, right? Like, for example, I'm going to give you one example right now. Vietnam. Vietnam, Vietnam was a country that was not as good as it is today. So we were giving them a lot of billions and billions of dollars. What happened with Vietnam? You know what? Now they're very strong. I don't know about you, but they are very strong. They have a lot of manufacturers. Look at this. Everything fits. But look at this. These third world countries now have manufacturers that they used to be here in the United States of America. And now they are booming. They're making money. I'm not hating on them. I wish them well. I wish them, all the goodness in the world. But they have been making money, and we have been losing money. So the one thing that I'm going to give the Vietnamese people is that I've seen videos where entire families, at 10 something at night at a central park in downtown, you got children playing, you got all these people just having fun out there in the middle of the night. There's no crime, there's nobody snatching purses, there's nobody doing drugs, there was no homeless tents, there was none of that. Vietnam, at least downtown Vietnam, this city looks beautiful. What do we find? We're going through all this stuff over here, and we find that China, to avoid paying us, even though there was a small tariff before, to avoid paying us, they built manufacturers in Vietnam, and they were changing the Chinese tag names to Vietnam. to avoid paying the tariffs, the taxes. That only hurt us because the reason why we have that tariff on them is so that we can make a fair trade marking deal. Okay. And they broke those rules. China is known for breaking all the rules of trading. Let's not kid ourselves. China wants to be the number one. They want the one world order. Okay. And China wants to be number one. We know that the United States is one third of the market out there for the world. So the world needs us because we're one of the biggest consumers that they can have. And I think that a lot of people don't understand that. So if you want to talk about tariffs, why do we have tariffs? Well, number one, we want businesses to be here in America like they were a couple of decades ago. We want those manufacturing jobs back. For those of you that want the minimum wage to be higher, these are the kind of jobs that you want here because all you need is your high school diploma. And then you can work in there. Mechanics, a lot of trades. You know how to use tools. These manufacturing jobs will get you work. And no, not everything is about automation. There's a lot of physical labor where humans need to be used. So don't think that machines are going to replace you completely. They are trying, but they are not going to replace you completely. We're still going to need millions of people to work. We need people to control those machines that will be created for a lot of these jobs. So that's what tariffs are doing. That tariffs are bringing jobs back to the United States. And I know you cannot tell me I don't see any. Well, shit, it took a couple of decades to get rid of all these manufacturing jobs. It's going to take some time to rebuild manufacturers back in here. There's already companies being built right now as we speak, but they're not going to be open until another year from now. So you guys got to be patient. You allowed these corrupted politicians to destroy our economy in the last couple of decades. The least that you can do is allow our President Donald Trump to do his job. 3.5 years left. Let him do his job and stop fighting the one person that is actually fighting for you, for me, for our families, for our children. They tell you all this negative stuff about his personal life because the man is weak. He has failed personally. But they tell you that because that's the only bad thing they got on him. You know, they have defended criminals over American citizens. I know you know this. A lot of you guys out there that don't agree with me have been supporting criminals. Since when has a senator gone to a foreign country and go fight to bring an American citizen back to the United States of America? Never. Never. But a Salvadorian gangbanger who abused his wife twice. We know how victims are. They can retract those comments, but you can't change history. Huh? He's done all this stuff. Human trafficking, one of the things that we're very against because thanks to people like him, we have hundreds of thousands of innocent minors and children that are still missing because of people like him. And what do Democratic senators do? They fly all the way to El Salvador. Release the Maryland man. What? When have you done that for the American people? That is my point. And this is why I tell you guys, I don't care if you don't believe what I'm saying. Because we have proof. I'm going to look at my chatting here because it's not moving on my actual phone. Yep, Trump haters, they will be haters. Uh, looks like I only got 2 bars of signal. So, guys, bear with me here. Thanks for the love, guys. I appreciate it. Uh, keep on hating. It will consume you. It backfires. That's right. Hate, it's only bad for your own soul. You're not really doing anything to harm anybody else. So surviving behind liberal lines. Keep preaching it, brother. Hey, thank you for the 5, my man. I appreciate it. I don't know. It's not working on my phone that I'm actually doing the live. I'm actually using my second phone to read you guys' comments. Thank you for the support. Unfortunately, the people that are out there protesting right now, pretending to be victims of the Epstein files, they're making up shit. I don't believe anything that they say. I'm sorry. It's too late. You should have done that when the court was open. You should have done that the first time that it came out. You shouldn't have waited until Donald Trump was being attacked by everybody and their mamas. So we don't believe you. You cried wolf way too many times. We don't believe that anymore. But you guys want to know about tariffs? Well, that's what tariffs are doing. We're bringing jobs back over here. Uh, Companies. Let me tell you something. If I want to build a business, okay, and you got to be honest with yourself. I'm going to say this. I had a business myself. Okay, I used to fix electronics, televisions, etc. Right? Some did it the right way. Some didn't. I was one of those business owners that thought, you know what? I'm going to give my customers the best price possible. And it helped and it worked for some people. But I noticed that the bigger companies, even though they were charging more than me, even though they were giving less warranty than I was given 6 month warranty on every work that I did. That was my trade. That's what I learned. I learned how to do electronics, right? I learned how to solder. I learned how to replace boards, parts, etc. I learned how to build a whole TV from scratch. Okay, so I failed in the business because people supported bigger companies. Now I was a mobile technician. I will come to your house and I will repair your television at your house, right? Cheap labor. That's right. And you know what? They decided to go for the more expensive, for the bigger company. Of course, I understand. Trust me, I understand. But the point that I'm making here is that when you don't want to support small businesses are going to disappear. And you're going to have companies like Amazon, which is okay. I'm not hating those companies either. I shop on Amazon all the time. That's because I hate going to the store. I don't like to go look for stuff in there. I'd rather just browse on my computer, blah, 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 and get my stuff, right? So, but when you guys are against tariffs, you guys are against the United States getting a fair trade deal in the world. You guys are not allowing for our products to be sold overseas, and that's a big problem. Now, if you are in blue states, you probably suffer the most when it comes to taxes because local taxes are not good. It was a good idea to help infrastructure and to help, locally and this and that. Let's not forget that 1% of the population, the millionaires and the billionaires in this country, pay for more than 50% of the taxes that the whole United States of America collects in local taxes. You think about that. So if we're going to be hardworking Americans, let's continue to do that. But let's stop hating on people because they got more money than you, because they got a boat, because they have better cars, because they have a better house. You know what? That shouldn't matter. You should wish them better. You should want to bless them even more. They work hard for that. I'm not going to envy people for their merits. It's a capitalist system that we live in. And if I was to do the right thing, I can also make more money. I haven't been able to find that break. I haven't been able to break the code, as they say. But that doesn't mean that the system is bad. That doesn't mean that other people are cheating. On the contrary, I admire them even more because I know how hard it is to be successful. So instead of me hating them for being successful, I am going to acknowledge how hard it is to be successful. And therefore, I am going to appreciate them even more. And this is why I am not jealous of them. I'm not envious of them. I will say, I wish I had some of those things, right? But those things don't define me anyway. So I bless them. I want them to do better. Because you know what? One day, the dream is I will be in those shoes, that I will have those things that I want to have, and that I will have the freedom that I want to have financially. But until then, I'm not going to sit here and blame them for everything that, you know, that they're doing right. They're doing it right. You cannot be lazy and hate the people that get up at 5 in the morning when you get up at 10 a.m. and do nothing but play your video games. I love playing video games. Believe me, I love playing video games. I'm a gamer. But I have learned that I got to work full time. And then I have done my YouTube channel that I just started a couple of months ago. You guys have given me immense support, which I love and I appreciate. And this is why I'm doing this in the morning, because you guys have given me that love. Let's see. It's not that guy, Truth. I appreciate it. Thanks for the 10, brother. I'm using my other phone to give you props. Oh man. So thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. That those loves are for you, my man. I think it's a man or a woman. I don't know. But oh no, it's not that guy. So I think it's a male. There you go. Oh, loves for you. Thank you so much. So I think that you know what? I want to tell you something. I experienced some amazing moments in my life. One of them, I joined this through a friend of mine. It's my Mexican friend. We're not friends anymore because he believes in illegal immigration and I don't. But I still love him. You know, who knows? Maybe one day we'll become friends again. So he invited me to do a business with him, and the business was called ACN. I don't know if you ever heard about that. But Donald Trump was sponsoring it, and he invited me and convinced me to join him because Donald Trump was endorsing it. Imagine that. Now he hates the guy because he doesn't want illegal immigration in this country. So here we are. President Donald Trump was sponsoring it. I went to this business meeting. It was huge. There was thousands and thousands of Hispanic business owners, and it was all a lot of. Thank you for the likes, guys. Thank you for the love. And there was a lot of Hispanic Latinos. You know what? Not once did Trump say anything negative about any of the Latinos that were making their business dreams come through true. And people don't know this, but Donald Trump has always spoken very well of any person. It doesn't matter what ethnicity, it doesn't matter what your creed is. He's always spoken very well of a person that stands up, works for themselves, and want to be successful in life. He does not appreciate lazy people. So I guess a lot of people can hate him for that, but he appreciates the hard-working American people. And I think that's what we are supposed to do ourselves. And with that being said, that is your tariffs. And here's why you're suffering with your local taxes. That's where your biggest problem comes in, your local taxes. Here in Washington State, we were paying let's see, about $1 and change more when Biden was in office. Now we're paying less than $4 per gallon because of Trump's tariffs, because of the changes that he's making, because of the agreements and the investments that people, business owners, millionaires are making. They're making commitments to the American people again. But here's the catch. They say we are doing this because Donald Trump is here, right? They're saying this. Now, if Donald Trump is finished in office, their fear, listen to this, and this is proof that what Donald Trump is doing, our beautiful POTUS, that what he's doing is right. The fear of these billionaires, CEOs of tech companies, the artificial intelligence technology, the fear is that when Donald Trump is not in office anymore, that they're going to start raising taxes and regulating and doing all this stuff, and then they're going to have to go back to oversee business. We cannot do that, guys. It is important that you understand that you are hurting the United States of America by supporting international countries, putting tariffs on us and not being able to put tariffs on them. Your local taxes are given by your governor, by your mayor, that's by your local government. They are the ones that impose taxes. And you know why they put taxes on you? You know why we pay taxes, local taxes? They say for infrastructure. They say for for social programs, etc. What they don't tell you is that they have been pissing your money away on NGOs. And what you haven't noticed, and I hope you have noticed actually, is that politicians go in office and come back out of there rich, How does that work? When you're working for the American people, you have a salary that is probably 5 times higher than the average American person. You're making good money, but you come out of the political affiliation millionaire, something is going on. And right now, we have over $22 trillion unaccounted for. And you guys don't say a peep about that. You don't question that at all. How about you say something about those trillions of dollars that are missing from our budget, that American citizens are not seeing being put to good use? How come every time they do an audit, they never say, oh, yeah, everything is in order? No, here in Washington State alone, they have discovered hundreds of millions of dollars, even up to billions of money that you can't trace. It's gone. NGOs is the best money laundering business ever. And politicians keep raising taxes on you. You know why? Because it doesn't matter to them. Their taxes that they raise, it doesn't matter. They're getting their money. They don't care. As a matter of fact, this is what the Democrat politicians that are getting money from businesses say. We say, hey, listen, we don't want you to tax Microsoft. Microsoft is important. They're doing a lot of things for our country and our state, and we need them. You know what they say? Hey, if we take $1 billion from Microsoft, they won't miss it. They make billions. And they say, so if we can take $1 billion from Microsoft, why not? It is the principle, it's ethics, honesty. Just because somebody has money doesn't mean that it belongs to you and that you can take it away from them. That's not how it works. You know, people, lazy people, complain that they don't make enough money. I will say this. I agree that some companies should pay more, and they can, okay? But it depends on what company you work for. You might think this company is making bank, but they're probably not. Just because they made $10 million, this year in sales, it doesn't mean that $10 million was profit. It's a big difference. They pay hundreds of thousands of dollars just to pay the bills, to keep the lights on. And they pay millions in salaries to people, benefits. It's very expensive to run a business. It's very expensive. So I don't want to make it too long, but I'm going to tell you something. Let me read some comments in here. Let's see what this guy is saying. Somebody over here is spamming. Let's see. You're talking about ethics and honesty while supporting Trump. What does that mean? What does that mean? You guys have been lying about Trump since the first time that he took office. And you've been lying and just criminalizing and saying all this negative stuff. I don't hear you saying shit about Joe Biden missing for 3.5 years, about not campaigning. I remember seeing maybe 1 or 2 campaigns that he did from the basement of his house, while Donald Trump was out there almost every day campaigning with his team. I don't remember you guys saying shit about him being lazy or hiding. As a matter of fact, all his administration lied to us, told us that he was as sharp as a tack, and he was running circles around them, even though he was older. And what do we find out? It was all lies. How do they come and tell us? They convince you that the people that acted on January 6th were terrorists. What kind of bullshit is that? And how can you believe that? Somebody broke a window and that was the end of the world for these people. What about Chicago in flames? What about Seattle's precinct being taken over by local terrorists? What about people dying left and right? What about 800 people dying in Chicago? How are they not comparing that to being a criminal, an atrocity here in the United States of America? Nobody died in D.C. in the change of power. Only an innocent woman was shot by a police officer in that building. They said that it was worse than 9/11. Seriously? The Twin Towers being destroyed? They tried to destroy our economy. The stock market was bad. Thousands of people lost their lives. A window was broken in January 6th, and these cowards come out in the open and say this is worse than 9/11. And some idiots, like Kamala said, that this was even worse than Pearl Harbor. What the do we have in office? I'm sorry, I'm raising my voice, but how the hell can we say that's okay? How can you come in here and talk shit about Donald Trump and us when all the things that you have been doing has been lying to the people? They convinced you January 6th was a horrible thing and that many terrorists, many traitor Americans turned against America. They put a lady in jail because she questioned the voting machine. She touched it and they put her in jail, and you guys said nothing. How about trying to get some truth, some honesty? How about saving democracy from those who are cheating the system when we, the people, vote and they're using machines to change votes? How can you sit there and not say nothing, and yet you want to say, I defend a pedophile? Ramos, thanks for the 2. I appreciate it. And no, Donald Trump was not on the Epstein files. You want to believe one side but not the other. Maxwell, which I wouldn't believe anyway, she's in the same category as all these lying people that say that Donald Trump was in there and they were victims. They're in the same category. They're a bunch of liars. I cannot take the word of a liar unless I hear an honest person that has been honest all the time to tell me that. I'm not going to believe it. With that being said, don't change the subject. The fact of the matter is that the party that they say are Democrats, they're no longer Democrats, and we know it. You know why they're fighting? They're fighting Donald Trump right now? It's because they're communists, and they defend China, and they defend Russia, and all they do is use the victimality of the situation to play with your emotions, because they know that Americans like to help people. They know Americans are special. They have a great heart for their people, and their heart bleeds with other people's pain. I get it, but you cannot be blinded. You cannot let them control you like that anymore. That's all I'm saying. So in this 1 hour that I am dedicating to you, my fellow patriots, and even some of you guys that are hating me on this chat, it is important to know the facts, know the truth, learn how to find the truth. We will probably never ever be able to be 100% correct, but we can definitely make a better determination if we take a look at the facts and we see what's going on before us. Anybody that keeps lying to me, expects me to believe anything they say, they are wrong. 100%, I will never be able to believe you when you keep lying to me. I told you, the people that cry wolf, wolf, wolf will never be believed. Even sadly, even if they one day tell the truth, nobody is going to believe them. And that is a big problem. You know, it's funny, right? I say I love my American people. I am a Honduran American. I'm a naturalized American citizen. I love this country. I love the people. And isn't it funny that some people come in here and just call me a sellout? They think I'm trying to be white. I don't know who put in their mentality that the United States of America is white. The United States are not white. The United States is a mixed pot of a bunch of wonderful people that have come here, worked their butt off, and are pledged allegiance to the flag and to our nation. Some people agree, they think that they should be able to burn the American flag. I think that's anti-patriotic. Some of you don't believe that. Yeah, some of you defend it with this whole freedom of speech. But I'm going to say this to close. Number one, I love you all. I really love you all. But I'm going to say this to close. Even if you believe that burning the American flag is your freedom of speech, when the world comes into our country and invade our country, 21 million illegal immigrants, that doesn't mean just Hispanics, they come here, they burn our flag, This actually gets me emotional, and I apologize, but listen to this because nobody's going to do it for you. They come into our country, they bring drugs, they traffic innocent children, women get raped. They come into this country illegally. They burned the American flag. A lot of them were waving the Mexican flag while standing in front of an American burning flag. Breaks my heart. As an American, you should also cry for that moment. The disrespect that they show this nation. And yet, sadly, some Americans still defend these people that show no respect for our country. They're destroying our cities. They're abusing the system that is to be there to help those Americans in need. They excuse themselves saying, I need it more than you do. But how can you sit there and defend burning the American flag as a freedom of speech? Let's say I, for 1 second, agree with you. That is a freedom of speech. When the world comes over here to burn your flag and raise their flag on top of your flag, tell me that you still respect that as a freedom of speech. If you do, you're a moron and you're a freaking traitor to your nation. Nobody should be allowed to disrespect the United States of America. I don't care how much freedom of speech you have. If you're an American, I get it. But if you come over here and you burn the flag, the biggest problem that I have is when you raise a foreign flag on top of my flag, the American flag. That's my biggest problem. And it's sad because nobody is going to defend this country. And if you, the people, turn against this country, who is going to fight for you? Who's going to fight for your children? Who's going to fight for our nation? That's what you got to think about. And that's why I look for American patriots to join me. I'm still trying to figure out how to use TikTok. And eventually I'll get there because you do get a lot of more traffic in there and you get to put the voice out there for the American people. That's where I'm at with the burning the flag. If you're an American patriot, I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican. I used to be a Democrat. I am not a Republican, but right now we are supporting the Republican Party because they're the party that is actually fighting for the things that Democrats used to fight for. Remember, Donald Trump used to be a Democrat. Tulsi Gabbard was a Democrat. Robert Kennedy was a Democrat. J.D. Vance hated Donald Trump. Marco Rubio fought against him in the debate. Ted Cruz, all these people are joining Donald Trump, not because they love the man and all his history and all his personal life, but because what he's doing for this country. And that's where I am. I support Donald Trump 100%. And we're going to gain peace through strength. For too many decades, we have been losing respect of the world. But now that we have Donald Trump in office, they know we ain't playing around. We got a tough group in this administration. They're going to make mistakes along the lines. Like Pam Bondi. I'm pissed off at Pam Bondi. She should have said what she said about the Epstein files. Now, all these ludicrous people are out here always saying Epstein files, Epstein files. Forget about the Epstein files. It's over. They're still going to come out. But forget about that. That's not priority anymore. What's priority is defending and fighting for our country. With that being said, thank you guys for your support. Thank you for the likes. Irma, love you, sister. Rush, babe. Brother Omar, Ozzy, Trinity. I know you were not in here today, but if you get to watch this video later, I want to say I love you guys all. Thank you very much for the support. God bless you. God bless the USA. And patriots, stand up for your country. No foreigner is going to do that for you but yourself. Remember the famous words. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. You all have a blessed day. If I am able to get signal, I will do another live sometime this weekend. But I am going to spend some time with my wife and some friends. And we are going to have some nice barbecues this weekend. Guys, you all be blessed. Thank you so much for paying attention this morning. And God bless you, new patrons that come in here to my channel. And those trolls, you guys are all better.